Welcome to Fellowship One Global, a place where faith comes alive and hope rises every day. Get ready to be transformed by the living Word. From the Word to the World, we rise to light the way.
We're going to see this man's action in Genesis chapter 26. In Genesis chapter 6, these great leaders, their action tells that they love God and they are happy with the idea God has given to them. I want to show you something. Let's go back to that same Genesis chapter 6 because we've talked about that earlier on. Let's go back to just Genesis chapter 6 and see that story of Noah again in Genesis chapter 6. So God wanted to destroy the whole world with a flood, and then he needed somebody to build a ark. Let's see. In Genesis chapter 6 verse 15. This is how to build it. The ark is to be 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. Make a roof for and finish the ark to within 18 inches of the top. Put a door in the side of the ark and make lower, middle, and upper decks. I am going to bring flood water on the earth to destroy all the lives under the heavens, every creature that has the breath of life in it. Everything on earth will perish, but I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark, you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wife with you. You are to bring him to. So God started giving him instructions. Now, if you go to verse 22, and you see the action in verse 22, Noah did everything just as God commanded him. That's the action part. That's what I want to show you. He did everything just as God has shown it to him. So you must understand that ideas will not don't just have the idea in your mind. You must bring them to reality through your faith, through clarity, through commitment, through action. So what are the 5 steps? And you write them down, and after that we'll create room for discussion and everything. So what are the 5 steps that you would carry out to translate what you have up here into reality? Because you see, God's intention for us in the month of November is that we become creators, we have our own businesses, and we have prayed, and God has said some of our businesses will go into the spaces of turnovers that are more than 6 figures. One of our sisters was sharing an opportunity of showcasing our business in a large place. One of our sisters started something in America whereby, it's a YouTube channel for small children. And it's part of what I've been encouraging her, because she has all these teaching aids and every other thing. She was saying to me that I never knew that people could respond. That in a community where it looks like they don't even know Jesus, they were responding to the information I am putting out, and they were happy with it. I was receiving the right feedback. I want to say this to you. People cannot really appreciate what you have not manifested. You see, that idea in you is a mighty hook. It's a mighty hook. That small seed, if you plant it, it will turn things around. So how do I turn my ideas into reality? And I'm just going to give you 5 simple steps. Number 1, if you look at the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2 to 3, you can write in Habakkuk 2 to 3. He was talking about writing down the vision. You must be able to write down the vision God gave you. And I shared with you that, when we started Fellowship One, I was writing things down, and I still write things down. Yeah. I still have my teaching book. The one I've been using since 2006 that I was ordained as a pastor. Up till today, I still have it. Yeah. My books are intact. There was a time in my life that my philosophy was that my wardrobe must not be better than my books, my library. So every week I was buying 4 or 5 books, and I was writing. There are some that I've not even shared with anybody. You see, the reason for writing is because it is through your writing that you can have clarity. Just imagine what God told Isaac was not written down. How are we going to know? Can you imagine the specification of the ship that was built by Noah? If it's not written, how are we going to know? So God in his mercy equipped people to write. So your writing will provide clarity. Please just don't say I have this business in my mind. Start writing things down. But somebody says that, oh, English is my problem. You don't need to write in English. Write it in your local language. Can I even say this to you? There are a lot of times probably you are speaking English and you don't even know what to say. You don't know the next sentence that is correct. Please, can you speak your local language and then continue again? See, the most important thing is you making sure that there is clarity in your communication. And you see, God will always give instruction. Can you imagine in the book of Revelation telling them that the city should be in square? The writing down of that vision will help you focus on what is important. And I always tell people this. You see, a lot of times we focus on the things that are not important. This week, God was still telling me about the importance of focusing on what is important. I was saying to myself, well, I don't want to disturb you, but God said, you're not disturbing me. Focus on the things I'm telling you and tell them. Listen, see, if you're going to be successful in any of the ideas God has given to you, see, you must remain focused. There will be so many distractions. There will be loads and loads of things that wants to take your attention away. And that's why in Hebrews chapter 12 said, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, is the beginning and the end of it. Our focus should be on Jesus. So number 3, what will your writing do? Your writing will also help you to be accountable. Accountability. So you can measure what you have done and you can foresee what needs to be done. We need to write things down. We need to. And somebody says, oh, I can't write. Get somebody that will help you document those things. And I would say to you that, see, one of the people you want to know your great grandfather you never met. There are archives and records where you can go to and trace your bloodline. Especially for people that probably they died in prison or something, and they just and there was one I watched that the man has died earlier, and it was his grandchildren that was fighting in the courts that he was not the one that murdered the woman they were saying he killed, and they fought it for 7 years until they won. You know what I'm trying to say to you? You see, writing things down will bring clarity. That your writing will guide. It will guide your actions and your prayers. It will guide what? Your actions and your prayers. See, Isaac already knew that the blessing he's looking for in Egypt is in Gerar. So go and look at the prayers of Isaac. He already knew that, see, I am going to prosper. And if you study Genesis chapter 26, you're going to see that they started fighting him. But even the king says, we have become so powerful, please leave. So you must understand that the reason why your actions and your prayers are not consistent is because there is nothing you've written. So God already told you that at the age 20, this is the prayer you should be praying for that child. And that child is probably still 19, or is still 9 years old. Do you think you'll be able to retain all the information for 11 years? But If you had your book, volume 1, I said, okay, let me go to volume 1. God said this is about this book. And you saw the instructions of God. You saw the things God is telling you, then you know what to do. So you must understand this, that the first step to transforming, to bringing the information from your mind into reality is to start writing things down. It's not looking for money. You know, one of our sisters today, I was counseling and he said, oh, during COVID, I had 60 clients working for me and then, or working with me, and now they've reduced to 15. And I said, okay, what do you think is the problem? Because, oh, I think my problem is because people are trying to talk me down and everything like that. And I said, no, it's not people talking you. I said, you know, recently I had a couple that wanted to invest in my business, but I said, we'll take your money away. Like, no, I'm not doing that. And I said, do you even write things down in your vision? Do you write anything down about this business? He said, no, I just do it as it comes to me. I said, no, you must write things down. So what is number 2? What do you need to do? It is committing your ideas to God. You see, I see a lot of people, and I still see that often. I see people, the moment they get blessed, they run away. See, all of us can be more. Is that we can. Let me put it this way: do you think anybody can be more successful than God, or do you think anybody can be more blessed, and your blessing will intimidate God? No. See, whatsoever God gives to you, don't run away. Whatever position God has taken you to, stay with Him. He can show you much more. He can give you much more. You see, you can see, if you look at the book of Proverbs chapter 16 verse 3, it said, commit your ways into God. Proverbs 16 verse 3. And you must understand that, see, every idea needs God's foundation and approval. Every idea. You see, it is when you start working with God that you will understand the depths of your ideas, the depths of your vision. The depth of your vision, it is when you start working with God. And I've always been sharing this with you that Paul and others were praying to go into a city. And in the dreams of Paul, he saw the man of Macedonia calling him. And he said to them, we're going to Macedonia. And in all of the churches that Paul established, it was the Macedonian church that kept on remembering him with their offering and everything. You know what I'm simply saying to you? You must understand how to commit your vision to God's hand. So let me say this to you. 3 things will happen when you commit your ideas, your vision into God's hand. Number 1, God will align people with you. See, you cannot shoulder this vision alone. You cannot carry this vision alone. And it is myopic when you are trying to do everything on your own. You can't. You can't. There are other people that God will bring your way, that it is as a result of what they are doing that there will be progress and expansion in everything you do. Jesus, it's through you. You know, it's that vision that is bringing or that brought them to you. The same way is why you need to start that business. The same way is why you need to start those ideas God is giving to you. See, it goes beyond you. And some people will not be liberated until you start. Do you know a lot of us, we keep people in bondage because we refuse to start the things God is asking us to start. So number 2, when you commit your visions into God's hand, timing will be accurate. I always tell people there's a difference between the calling of God and the sending of God. God can call you and not send you. But you know something? God will never send you until He has called you. So you must understand the timing. You must understand. And it is in the course of you committing that vision into the hands of God. That is when you will know that when do we need to go internationally. We have been operating in this locality for long. God, when is that breakthrough for us to go? And number 3 is the resources. You see, you can't, let me say this, you can't, people think that, oh, getting finances from the government will solve the problems of their businesses or their life. No. And I even say this to you, if you decided to go and get a loan from the bank to finance an idea that is not from God, you will result in debt. So, like we discussed last week, during your gift, your greatness, and men, is that, see, the moment you start taking that baby step with that vision, God will start aligning men with you, and those men will come with their resources. Will come with their resources. That's why you need to be smart enough to know the people God is connecting with you. So they will come with their resources. So you understand this tonight? That when you commit yourself, time will favor you, people will favor you, and the next thing that will happen is resources. Now let's see. The next step is what? Is to believe. Is to believe in yourself and in the God that has given you the vision. Probably I'm going to talk more about this at some point in this month. You see, a lot of us, we have allowed what people says about us to define us. Oh, you amount to nothing, you can't be successful in business, and we allow those wrong orientation to be the pathfinder of our life. No, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Even if you used to fail before, now that you have become a believer, the life that is now in you is the life of God. All you need to do is to transform your mind. So you must believe. You must believe. And you must understand this. Now you see, God's vision always exceeds our imagination. See, if the ideas God has given to you is not challenging you, then it's not God. Because whatever God's going to give to you is bigger than you. That was why in the book of Jeremiah chapter 1, Jeremiah said, how am I going to speak to the nation? I'm a child. And God says, no. Before you are conceived in your mother's womb, I have appointed you as a prophet to the nation. So your visions will always intimidate you. What you must do with it is to believe and take that baby step. Take that baby step. I told you, this fellowship one you are seeing today was a baby step. God told me about it on Wednesday. On Sunday, my one room, self-contained, I turned that room in the evening to where we started meeting. And there were 7 people in number. See, understand this. You must take that baby step. You must believe. And you see, your belief will do these things for you that might help you. Your belief will prepare you. See, nobody really prepares for what they think they don't want to really become successful at. And I told you last week how someone going to the Olympics will prepare for 4 years for the race of just 100 meter that will take place in less than 10 seconds or 10, in most cases 10 seconds. And they will prepare for 4 years. It's a belief that there's a medal waiting there. Number 2, your belief will expand your capacity. So if you have been doing the 100 meter for 10 seconds before, you start looking for 8 seconds, and that's when you say that is a record, is a world record holder. It breaks the record because the capacity has been increased. And what happens again when you believe? You will start getting supernatural results. See, some of you does not know that business with you can become a 6-digit what? Profit-making business. Believe. Prepare. expound. And what? And you start seeing supernatural results. Supernatural results. As we begin to round up, what do you need to do with your baby? You combine your faith with action. What do I say? You combine your faith with what? With action. I met somebody, I used to do what they normally call buy and sell while I was in Nigeria. So I went to the market one day to get some pairs of shoes to sell to some people. And the guy told me that, oh, I used to get this in so place in Togo. And Togo is just, there's a country between Togo and Nigeria, that is Benin Republic. And so when he told me, I said, is there a way I can get there? He said, yeah. He said, well, how much do I need to go to the country? He said, well, if you have about, say, 200,000, 270,000, you can always go. I said, okay. So I started saving money. And I was looking for who's going to take me, 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 who's going to take me. They said, it's profitable that you don't go on your own for the first time. So one day we're in the pastor's meeting. The pastor was talking, said, oh, my wife just returned back from Togo and then she was buying and said, so I went to him after the meeting and said, sir, I am going to go to this Togo. Can you ask your wife anytime she's doing that? I want to go with her. He said, yes. He said, and you know something? I have been to Ghana before then, but on that same trip, when we finished buying things from Togo, the woman said to us that, oh, because I took another brother with me, so we're free. He said, I think we should just go to Ghana and sleep tonight and do some shopping in Ghana, and then from Ghana we'll go to Nigeria the next day. So in that same day, we left Lagos, shop in Benin, shop in Togo, shop in Ghana the next day, and then we returned back to Nigeria. And then I made more than 500% profits of that money. You know what I want to say to you? You see, there are people outside there. I'm about to round up. There are people outside there waiting for you to manifest. The reason why you have not said, the reason why it looks like everything is silent around you is because you have not mixed your faith with action. Genesis chapter 26. Isaac never went back home and sleep. He started planting. He went back and started planting. And the Bible says in that same year he reaped 100-fold. He started planting. He was going around planting. He was buying people's land. People were running away. He was buying their land. He was taking their land. He was planting. See, let us be smart. Let us be smart. When next you are going to China, I was telling one our beloved sister here, don't go alone again. Bring people under your mentorship that will go with you. Take people along with you. You see, it's a form of, one day you might say that, oh, I don't want to go now. I think you can help me go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people and blah blah blah, and then you can help me get my things to so place. You know what I'm telling you today? You must see, faith has to be mixed with action. You see, your faith is like an engine. Your action is the movement. Your faith is an action. You might have a very luxurious car at home, but if you can't do anything with the car is a waste. So the same way is your faith without action. So you understand that in James chapter 2 verse 17, faith without work is dead. So you understand this? Every idea comes as a result of faith, but it is action that brings manifestation. So what do we do as we start going tonight? You must not only plan, you must start applying what you are planning. And I'm going to give you this challenge. And this is a challenge I have practiced so many times, and it has worked for me. See, as from tonight, have someone you are discussing your business idea with. Have someone you are discussing an idea with. For the next 30 days, set up somebody you discuss an idea with. You see, if you think your husband is not somebody that is business inclined, look for somebody else. But it will be good if it's your partner. But see, make sure that you are discussing the idea. It might be your younger brother, it might be your relative, it might be somebody. See, ask. So those questions in your mind. How do I want to go to Turkey? Oh, I learned that. Yeah, before I left Nigeria, the next place we wanted to go to was Istanbul. Because in Istanbul, then there were some pairs of men's t-shirts that were made in Istanbul. But I learned last week that they started making it in Nigeria, so they don't need to go to Istanbul again. They go to Istanbul to buy. And then we're saying, okay, how do we get to Istanbul? How do we do this? See, I know people here that used to travel from here and they would go to Milan and buy things in Milan and sell. See, the most important thing is you must have a business and you must start with. And I've just shown you tonight how to do it. Those ideas you have here, write it down. That will help you form how you're going to pray. It will form your actions. See, can I say this? It doesn't matter. You might live in America and God can align good people with you in Asia. He might align good people with you in Africa. He might align people with you in Europe. He might even align people with you even in America where you are. But one thing you must understand is that you must start something. Oh, the Lord bless you. The Lord bless you. Understand this as we go tonight. That God is not just the giver of dreams, but you must understand that God is the finisher of every vision. And that's Hebrews chapter 12 verse 2. God doesn't just give dreams. It is the same God that will finish that vision. I pray that the Lord helps you.